continue that theme from City Heights, and there's another great program that is helping young people in City Heights, and it will expand soon. Basically an alternative to the juvenile justice system as we know it, and we know that it needs a lot of help. Joining us this morning is the president of what they call the National Conflict Resolution Center. His name is Steven Dinkin. Good morning.
Good morning.
I know, and these things kind of tie together, helping out kids and finding alternatives to the life that they're leading right now. So this is exciting, and I know that you guys had a big news conference earlier talking about some of the results of your program. And how are things going?
Things are going great. We've had tremendous results and great success keeping the juveniles out of the court system, out of the prison system.
How does it work?
So we get cases from the law enforcement agencies, kids that have either committed a serious misdemeanor, even a felony, and if we're able to get an agreement with the juvenile and the victim, then the law enforcement agencies will allow us to keep the kid out of the system.
Yeah, and so from that point, what happens? There's a relationship that builds between the victim and the kid.
It's a very unique opportunity where the victim and the offender come together along with community members to try to come to some type of resolution. And if we're able to come to an agreement, then we ensure that the youth complies with the agreement. And if they're able to do that, then they remain on the street. And that's what's important, because we see that it's a cyclical problem. Once a juvenile is in the justice system, they never get out. So the key is to not allow them to get in the first place. And it's better for society, better for the community, better for the victim, and better for the offender.
Now, you've actually tracked several of these cases, and you've tracked how these people are doing. What are the results? I know that there's, it's a relatively new deal here, but what are the results in terms of how are these kids doing, most importantly?
So the program's been in place for 14 months, and 24 kids have come into the program, and out of the 24 kids, all 24 have come to an agreement, and there's 18 now that have gone and complied with the agreement. So it's 94% of the kids that have entered into the program have actually complied with the agreements. It's incredible statistics.
And how does this help the victims?
So it makes the victim whole again. It's a very stressful situation when either they're attacked or there's a crime that's committed against them, and they need to become whole again. And that's what it does. They feel that because they're part of the solution, it creates a new sense of security for them.
Absolutely. So do you continue to track the children in terms of their progress forward? Because things can happen between this conflict resolution and the future.
Well, that's the key is really compliance, making sure that the juvenile complies with the agreement. And also we look at recidivism rates. So it's important that once the kid has complied, that they don't return to crime or into the justice system. And that's what this program does. It actually creates a decline in recidivism. And once they're in the system, what happens is they come back into the system over and over again. It's the recidivism that we're really trying to
well, because oftentimes the juvenile justice system, I'm going to slam here, sometimes does more harm than good to these kids. We hear, or adults, once you go into prison and you live that prison life, sometimes it doesn't help you. It actually makes it worse.
I think that's the case, but also the law enforcement agencies now, they're starting to realize that, and so they're partnering with us to make this happen. The district attorney, the sheriff's department, the Department of Probation, they're all involved, the police. So it's really a partnership.
And I know the DA used to be a juvenile judge.
Right.
So she understands this problem firsthand.
Yeah, so it's a very unique partnership.
Yeah. Well, good deal. We like to see people doing good in our community and, helping out the kids that, and really, a lot of these kids, it's circumstances. It's their families. They're raised in these families where they just don't have any guidance. They don't have any leadership. And so it gets to this point, and perhaps they can find it and straighten out their lives.
Absolutely. I mean, with the National Conflict Resolution Center, that's really our goal, is to keep these juveniles on track and work throughout society to really create more civility in our lives. There's no lack of conflict in our lives.
Yeah, that is for sure. Hopefully saving these kids one at a time. Good stuff.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming in. We do appreciate your time. You a racehorse guy? You ever been to the races?
I do enjoy the races.